The operative word for today is COGS. Let's take a look at how FIFO, average, and LIFO influence our ending inventory and cost of goods sold in practice. Based on these assumed data, we can see that we had a beginning inventory of 100 units. It cost us $7.10 each, and the total purchase or total cost of those items that were on hand at the beginning of the period, $710. The first purchase we made this year cost $7.40 per unit. We bought 200 units for a total cost of $1,480. So adding up the beginning inventory plus all the purchases during the year leads to a total of goods available for sale of 1,000 units at a total cost of $7,550. However, our physical count shows that we have on hand now only 325 units. That means that 675 units were sold. We're not really concerned about the 675 units sold because we'll produce a number to go with that indirectly. We are concerned about the 325 units that are left in ending inventory. So sometimes you can get a problem that tells you you had 1,000 units available for sale and 675 are gone. And then you have to say, wait, that's not the number I'm computing. I want the number that's left. So, and squeeze out, for example, $325. So looking at that, we need to come up with 325 units and the associated costs with them. If we're talking about first in, first out, all of these guys up at the beginning are gone. So we can assume most of them are gone, and we're only left with 325 units of the kind that came in at the end of the period, more like $8 or $7.60 per unit instead of $7.10 or $7.40. So with that in mind, we need to do a computation and come up with 325 units worth of inventory at whatever the appropriate cost is for that. So for FIFO, we'll do it like this. We'll take the units that were available for sale, the last batch, 100 units at $8 each for $800. Now, why not some other quantity and somewhere in this mix of items? Because those are our ending units. And then how come we didn't take 325 of them? We didn't take 325 of them at $8 because we had only ever had 100 of them. So as it is now, I only have 100 units and I need to come up with 325 units. So let's dig further. The preceding purchase was for 600 units at $7.60 each. I don't have all of those left, but I have quite a bit of them. I have whatever is needed to take me from 100 units up to 325 units. How much is that? 225 units. And I'm going to associate the unit cost of $7.60 with that to come up with a cost for those items of $1,710. Adding the two together, I'll get an ending inventory of $2,510 under FIFO. Notice that the price has been going up, so we could expect this number relative to everybody else to be kind of on the high side because we're using the high dollar value strata of purchases. If we do LIFO on the other hand, let's review again what we have. We're going to take from the beginning inventory and however many layers we need to take from in order to arrive at, so beginning inventory, that's only 300. I need 25 more. I'm going to have to dig into these units here and take all of the beginning, all of purchase 1, and 25 of the units from purchase 2. Well, how do we do that, or how do I know that I have to do 25? Well, I need 325. Okay, same as I would if I was doing, as I needed when I was doing FIFO. So I'm going to say, okay, give me 100 of those 100 units that were in beginning inventory. That's $7.10 for a total of $710. Give me all of the 200 units that were purchased at $740. And as of now, I only have 300 units. I need 325. So 325 minus the 300 I have so far, I need right here 25 more at whatever that cost. 25 more, and the cost at that time was $7.60. So I end up with $190 associated with those 25 units. Adding this up, notice that my ending inventory is kind of low because I'm using LIFO and counting all of my earlier costs as my ending inventory. Well, how do you do weighted average? When you do weighted average, you take a look at the cost of all of the goods available for sale, 75.50, divided by the number of units, all the units you had available for sale, and you get a unit cost. The unit cost isn't 710 plus 740 plus 760 plus 8 divided by 4. It's some other number. And the reason why it's some other number is because you bought a lot of units at this batch for purchase number 2. So the price is going to want to go up close to $7.60 or towards that number, as opposed to away from these earlier numbers where we didn't purchase too much. So let's take a look and see what we end up with when we do it. Cost of goods available for sale, $75.50. Number of units available for sale, 1,000. Unit cost, $77.55. Same number of units we had before, 325 units. So what is our ending inventory cost? $2,453.75, which you notice is kind of right in between $25.10 and $23.80. But it's determined based on a weighting of the total cost of goods available for sale and the total number of units available for sale. No other schemes like any other kind of average. This is a special kind of average that takes into account all of the purchases at the various costs. So if we assume some dollar figures here on our income statement, let's say that our sales is $18,000 on our income statement, and our cost of goods available for sale was $75.50 in all three cases. Ending inventory, however, was different under FIFO, average, and LIFO. So our cost of goods sold would be different too. Do you remember what we had in our table? Well, ending inventory is high under FIFO, cost of goods sold would be low. Inventory was in between under average, cost of goods sold will be somewhere higher than that. And LIFO, ending inventory was low, cost of goods sold will be high. Now what does that do to gross profit? Well, just the opposite of what it did to cost of goods sold, or just the same as what it did to ending inventory. High gross profit under FIFO, in between for a weighted average, and low gross profit under LIFO. So which method gives you what? Well, the highest ending inventory will be from FIFO. That'll be the highest gross profit, and unfortunately, that'll be the highest tax bill. Hope this helps you with your homework. Bye for now.